This video is to help business owners to thrive and survive. And I want to share with you a problem I had recently with a large purchase and how it fell apart on the end of the sellers. And it was unfortunate, almost caused me not to pay them. Here's the job. They did a siding job for us, and you can see the detail even on that faucet. They did a beautiful job. But they're supposed to replace this window, but they ended up putting the trim around. They didn't replace it yet. And I asked them, because our contract said that when the job was finished, I had to pay him the full bill. Pay him half when they showed up to start, the other half when it was finished. And I was fine with that, except they didn't do the window. And I mentioned that to them. I said, listen, you didn't do the window. So I said, the job isn't finished. Well, they said, if you look at the two last lines of this long contract, it says in there that if it's substantially done, I need to pay him. They request it. And I said, no, I didn't pay him. In fact, they even took their sign down. I was so upset. I kept asking about this window. In fact, I asked 4 times of the project manager, and I even asked the salesman a couple times. Nobody gave me an answer. Finally, when I didn't pay him, the job was done. A week later, a couple of them called me and said, listen, the accounting department wants the money. I could care less about your accounting department. I want my window. It's in the contract. Finally, they had someone from the window division of their business call me and say, hey, the window's going to be done on this date. I said, you know, this is the 5th time I've asked about this window. Should it take 5 times to ask? What's the point for you as a business owner? You're going to have things that fall through the cracks. You're going to have screw-ups. You're going to have something that somebody didn't explain to somebody. That the window was ordered, but it was special ordered. It's going to take longer than normal, so the job would be finished, and the window wouldn't be done. Somebody told me that ahead of time. I'd been happy, but they didn't. So I said, 5 phone calls before I got this thing resolved, and they are doing the window next week. My point is, if you have a problem, just apologize. This was so strong. This was had such an impact on me when this 5th guy, or 5th call, the person that was in charge of windows said, listen, I apologize. Somebody should have told you ahead of time the window's going to be late. Somebody should apologize to you that, yes, we expected payment, but this wasn't in there. Maybe that could have been taken out of the bill. I apologize for all that. Don't be afraid to apologize if something screwed up, even if it wasn't your fault. It was one of your subcontractors. Because you could lose their business because of that. When somebody's upset and they've asked you a couple times, it's a big deal to them. So that's a lesson for your business. It's a good lesson for me too. Jim McIntyre, blueprintforselling.com. Remember to always believe in yourself.